Good morning and welcome. So the COVID, again, the COVID is back. So we urge you, request you to stay safe, stay masked up and follow all the protocols. And now moving on to better things. We had a match yesterday where Mumbai and Delhi played each other. I was told that Delhi hadn't won in at the Chepauk for the last 11 times or something. Some crazy number was there.
Crazy numbers.
Yeah,
So the numbers were stacked against them.
Stacked against them, but they did win. Low scoring match. At the end of the day, what happened? I mean, MI put up 137 for 9. 137 for 9.
Seven.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
137 for 9, and Delhi got there in the 20th over.
Yeah, 19.1 overs to be precise.
So, Bala, what did Delhi do right yesterday? We'll start with that.
I mean, they sustained the condition pretty well. That was a bold gamble. I mean, it was a gamble. They took, they replaced Vokes with Hetmeyer and Lukman Mariwala with Amit Mishra. It was not a like-to-like change. It was just on paper that didn't make sense. But since they were playing at Chepauk, they had kind of worked out those conditions pretty well in their mind, because they knew the ball was going to stop and going to come pretty slowly. And they thought Amit Mishra would fit the bill. And as it happened, Amit Mishra was outstanding.
Yeah.
So to start off, to answer your question precisely, they took a gamble. They made the right decision. They went with the right combination that worked for him. And we will talk about Amit Mishra specifically a bit later. So, and in contrast, Mumbai was very reluctant to change because their top order isn't firing, but it was a kind of a CSK Vitis, very reluctant to change. So they paid the price for that.
So in my mind, Mumbai's top order did fire pretty well. Did fire yesterday. It is the middle order
that
they did. I mean, they were 76 for 1 or 2, whatever it was.
Okay. Rohit Sharma and Surya Kumar.
Yeah, they were going pretty well actually.
To start off. Yeah. When I said top order, I meant the top 5-6 batters.
No, that is the middle order.
Not specifically openers.
See, Mumbai's middle order is
top order in the sense, in a manner of speaking.
Okay. So yesterday, the top order did fire. I mean, so actually, I think Rohit Sharma said after the match that, you know what, screw the dew. There's nothing to do with dew. You guys didn't bat well. He put it up front. He said, look, forget the dew. If you had batted well in the first half, you would have got enough runs. So yeah, so I think he was bang on there. See the middle order. I mean that what do you say? I mean even not 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe. That is the powerhouse that Mumbai has. So 4, 5, 6, 7.
And that is now the problem house.
Yeah, it's become a problem house now. So that is where I think the challenge Mumbai is having. And obviously they don't like Chennai. I mean, because their home pitch is quite bouncy. The ball comes on. And last time, if you remember, 2020, they were at Abu Dhabi most of the time. The ball was coming on to the bat nicely. Everybody was going berserk. This time, the ball is not coming on. And then Amit Mishra, when he bowls, it comes on even that much slowly.
Yeah, that's right. But Raj, forget about the conditions. See, when somebody like Hardik Pandya, who goes for a silly shot, very first ball, what conditions are we talking about? That was an irresponsible shot. Exactly. And a shot that was certainly not on.
Exactly.
See, and it is not as if he is in a prime of form.
See, now
so
Hardik Pandya,
have to understand.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. See, that is the point. Hardik Pandya has played 4 matches for Mumbai as a pure batsman, and he has failed all times. And he's not bowling. So where does he stand now? So you're bang on. See, I think Rohit Sharma hit the nail on the head. I mean, I think he is basically calling it out, one reason or the other. He is calling it out and say, forget about this thing. We were 72 for something, 76 for 2 or something like that. And we had no business getting out that quickly, and that too 9 wickets. I mean, they lost 9 wickets. You had no business.
See, the problem is Hardik Pandya, Ishan Kishan in the matches he has got a chance to bat. He has not shown. And Kieron Pollard has had only one good inning. So everything in Krunal Pandya, who can talk a bit. So you're right that middle order has not come to the party, and that is clearly affecting. So what you have, both Rohit Sharma and Quinton de Kock, though they have had a couple of good innings, they don't fire together. So the top order is not, and it puts a lot of pressure on Surya Kumar Yadav. Poor chap, how can he continue to perform?
Yeah, he almost did yesterday again.
He almost did yesterday. Even in the 2 matches they won because of the bowling. Even in those 2 matches, the batting didn't shine exactly in the way
Correct.
that Mumbai would have expected.
So that is where the
Both
challenge
against
is.
SRH against and
Yeah,
KKR,
so-
the batting was pretty average.
So Mumbai has a challenge going forward also because they have another 4 matches coming up in Delhi where the pitch is pretty similar. So it's going to be fun to watch. So we'll see how it goes. So yesterday, for example, yesterday for me, nothing worked for Mumbai. When do you see Bumrah bowl 2 no balls in 1 over, 19th over? And then Kieron Pollard comes and actually finishes the match with a no ball. So
Everything anticlimactic about it. Everything anticlimactic. But here I would want to talk about Amit Mishra. See, if Akshar Patel had been had been available, if he had not been out due to COVID, I don't think he would have gotten into the 11. But having gotten into the 11, this guy really proved a point. See, apparently this is the 4th or 5th match that he's playing since in both the seasons put together. And going into the match, he is the second highest wicket taker after Lasith Malinga in IPL. He is at 160. Lasith Malinga is 170. Of course, the number of matches between the two is pretty large, but I didn't expect there was any chance of him going past Lasith Malinga. But after last night's show, I think he has a chance. Now he is at 164. So 6 wickets, it's quite possible. And he has a chance of continuing to playing in the 11. So that is and the way he started, see, his first 8 balls went for 16 runs. And interestingly and rather symmetrically, his next 16 balls went for 8 runs.
See, for me, Amit Mishra has never been out of the radar. If you remember, we talked about him in the last IPL also. And Delhi's team composition changed when Amit Mishra got injured, if you remember. So they were playing Amit Mishra, what's his name? Akshar Patel and Ashwin. Ashwin was a certainty, and then they were oscillating between these two. When Amit Mishra went, they had no choice but to go to Akshar Patel. I think, which I'll bring in now. Why am I bringing it in? Because I feel Lalit Yadav made a fantastic contribution. He came out of a good, I think, Syed Mushtaq Ali, or a decent one at least. And he has made a good contribution. Suddenly you find this dude who's batting number 4 and bowling 4 overs.
4 overs. See, when Mumbai batsman middle order was struggling, Pant was smart enough to push those 4 overs of Lalit Yadav in.
Correct. See, one of the things
it was a great bowling effort, but that was done at the right moment.
So still, see, the point is that you need to bowl, right?
Exactly.
You can give him the ball, but he needs to still bowl and control the runs. So he went for 24 runs.
4 overs, which is in terms of economy, it was better than Ashwin's last.
Ashwin's, that's the point. So he still needs to bowl. Where you bring him to bowl is different. So the fact is right, because Ashwin bowled probably the tougher overs. The last one he went for 1 run, but then by the time Mumbai was
last over immediately we came after Lalit Yadav. Last but 1 over, because the first ball of his last over, Ishan Kishan hit him for a straight 6.
So the last but 1 over, he went for 1 run, which was sort of good, which is what pulled him back. So look at it this way. See, from my perspective, Mumbai actually let the game drift, in my mind at least, between overs 10.5 and 14. So that is where these guys came in. You are right. So now the point is, when you have 138 runs to defend, what are you waiting for? So maybe both of them were playing. See, now look at it this way. What is it that both teams gained from this match? They actually gained, one team gained 2 points. The other team ensured that their net run rate was not all that bad. So this is what has happened eventually. So is it strategy? I don't know. That only we can speculate. If it is strategy, brilliant strategy, because you take it to the 19th, 20th over to win. Because it's 138, you will assume that, they will finish it fast. And Delhi's strategy was to win. I don't think they really cared about the net run rate.
Cared about the run rate.
Yeah.
See, but to be fair, the batting wasn't all that easy on that pitch, and Delhi struggled. See, Shikhar Dhawan, though he top scored, it was chancy. He rode his luck, everything. But the problem was they had to chase only 130 plus. So that kind of made it easy. So it was easy for them to wait, bide their time, work it out. So it was easy. And Shimron Hetmyer coming late in the order. He kind of ensured there were not any major hiccups. So
I'll give you another stat.
Hetmyer in the starting 11 is important in my scheme of things.
So I'll tell you one more thing. The interesting thing was Delhi actually sort of aced the chase very well. there were only one or two occasions where they were going slightly behind the run rate. In one occasion, you had our Steve Smith hit 2 fours of Krunal Pandya. They brought it back. I mean, so I was just counting. They had only three overs where they took Mumbai bowlers for more than 10 runs, whereas Mumbai had actually 5 overs, and in some they went for they got as much as 15 runs. So in 5 overs, they scored at least between 50 and 60 runs. 60 or maybe there or more. I don't know. I didn't calculate the number of runs. I think it is at least 60, if not more. So what did they score in the remaining 15?
That's where
that is where they lost the plot. But anyway, I think Mumbai actually
as a match, there isn't much to discuss, because when your batsmen don't put up the runs, it was whatever discussion whatever thing that we may discuss, it's only just technical, and it's nothing important, because your batsman failed. The match ended for all practical purposes.
That Rohit Sharma said that. I mean, when you go from 76 or whatever for 2 to 5 or 6 or 5 or 6 down within the space of about 10 balls, I mean, you are done and dusted. So, I mean...
Yeah, but I also like the fact that Delhi kind of played on the ego of Rohit Sharma with Amit Mishra. See, this is the 7th time that Amit Mishra has been getting Rohit Sharma. That's pretty interesting stat. And what is even more interesting is, this is the maximum a single bowler has got a single batsman in the entire history of IPL. So that in it's also conveys a tale.
So I called that delivery out. If you remember, I mean, I just posted on our group. I said, look, this guy actually almost read the mind of Rohit Sharma that he's going to come out. He just bowled it wide.
Exactly.
That's all he did. He just bowled it the same delivery, bowled it maybe 2 degrees wider. That's all he did.
Because I can certainly remember of the 7 dismissals, 4 are similar to what you are describing.
So I mean, see, I think that is where the plot was lost. And I mean, Mumbai is a champion side, 5 times champion. So we'll see how it goes. So really don't.
But the real dismissal of the night was Amit Mishra's googly to dismiss Pollard.
That was just brilliant. And I don't even know why Pollard was waiting there, because although the ball probably kissed the bail, he thought that because he is tall, but Amit Mishra doesn't bowl.
But at the time, because he was the biggest batsman in the team, so you need to take your chances, go for that review. Fine.
They didn't lose the review anyways, so not that it helped them. So anyway, going over to today's matches. We have a
double-header. It's pretty strange. Double-header on a weekday.
On a weekday in the middle of the week. So did IPL guys know that there's going to be a lockdown? I don't know. It just came out. so what's your take on the first one?
First match is between Punjab and
SRH.
Punjab and Hyderabad. Both the teams are kind of clutching at the straps. And Punjab slightly better than SRH in the table, but in terms of their both the bottom place team, I think SRH will be much more desperate, because Punjab has bigger problems than SRH. SRH, if they can somehow manage to bring in Williamson, much of their problems would be sorted out. So Punjab has a bigger problem, because their top order, I mean, Rahul, though he's scoring runs, he's not scoring at the rate that Punjab would be comfortable with. And Gale is the elephant in the room in a metaphorical way. So they have a big, and their bowling for foreign bowlers are not shining, and their local bowlers are also not coming to the party. So Punjab has bigger problems in my book.
Yeah, so I agree with you. What I would say is both teams have a similar problem of being very rigid with their lineups. I think that is where the big problem lies. They are not shifting the lineups enough to sort of allow experimentation, largely because of the composition itself. Because you have a scenario where Punjab actually has more options. Now, what stops you from sort of pulling in David Malan instead of the elephant in the room, right? Hyderabad, I think, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, even in this match, Williamson might not be there unless they sort of pad him up and say, you better go and play. We don't have a choice. So I don't know. But then both of them have this, the four overseas players problem, both of them have.
But SRH has another problem. Their Indian middle order batting is not firing.
Yeah. Manish Pandey is just being Manish Pandey, which is a problem. So
and they went for a lot of changes in the last match, and that didn't work also.
Yeah.
Virat Singh, Abhishek Verma. So those guys are not really firing.
Yeah, so it's see that at the end of the day, what happens is they also have the same challenge. You have the two best guys at the top, and you don't have somebody to anchor. None of these names you took or Abdul Samad, none of these guys are actually guys who can anchor an innings and take it to the end. So Hyderabad always has done that. They have sort of lost a wicket and then everybody else has followed suit.
See, top two batsmen and Rashid Khan. So they have to play. The rest of the team has to play around. Unfortunately, it is not playing around.
Yeah. So we'll go to the next match.
That would be an interesting match.
CSK versus KKR.
KKR. I'll talk about CSK in the sense. I mean, right, even after the first match, I was kind of saying that CSK doesn't have much to worry about because they have the core. At least 10 players kind of select themselves. It's just the one selection. And after the last two victories, I don't think even that needs to be changed. They just need to stick with it and hope that Suresh Raina and the bigger Tala kind of click. If they manage to come up with the goods, that would be great for CSK. Otherwise, it's a settled unit, and I certainly expect them to make it to the last four. I mean, what will happen in this match is pretty difficult to say because KKR, they are coming after two debilitating losses, so they'll be much more keen.
Yeah, and KKR's team also, see, both teams here also, it's a scenario is both teams are quite settled. It is just that one settled team is winning, the other one is not. So I think the key personnel for Chennai have, I mean, if you look at the thing, I mean, it has been two overseas guys who have actually sort of really stepped on the accelerator, Moeen Ali and Sam Curran. So these two guys have done it for Chennai. I don't think.
And not to forget Faf's 30 plus of 17 deliveries.
Yeah, that's fine.
Gave the momentum.
Yeah, that is one match. Yeah, one match. But the previous two matches, he didn't click.
You're right. You're right.
But then these two guys have clicked. It is almost like they were waiting to get into yellow. And now we have arrived type. So that is the way I felt. So in KKR, again, they have the same problem, which is their foreign players are not really coming to the party. Because the Indian players have done reasonably well. Varun Chakravarti has done well. The three top batsmen have done well. So the problem seems to be the foreign.
Not just foreign players, three main players. I would include Dinesh Karthik here also. Yeah. He has not, as a batsman, he is not fired. You have a problem with Morgan. See, those guys can come to the party anytime. But I have a problem with Russell. He is not. He doesn't seem to be fully fit, and he just bowls those 18th, 19th overs, just 2 or 3 overs. And he's not able to get when it comes to batting, he's not able to get those big shots going. So Dre Russell might be the elephant in the room as far as KKR is concerned.
Yeah. So in both the games, we have one elephant in their respective rooms. So
let us see what happens. Absolute IPL legends. It's not as if we are bringing them down.
Yeah. So the legends are what actually become elephants after some time. So that sounded profound. No, it's not all that profound. It's just bullshit. So, anyways, I think that is it. So we'll watch. We'll see where this goes, and we'll catch up with you later this evening, and then again tomorrow. So keep watching, keep sharing your ideas, and we'll see you soon. And stay safe.
Stay masked.
And stay masked. Bye.
Bye.